Meet Ted Arnold.
Who's that? He writes and draws the Fly Guy books.
Every morning, Ted starts his day on the dock. He feeds the fish. They look pretty hungry this morning. Look, his neighbor Harry the heron just showed up. Harry likes the fish too. Is it 9:30 already? Time for Ted to get to work. Ted, tell us about your writing and drawing process.
The very first thing I do when I'm starting an idea is I get out my notebook and I write stuff down. I will write on anything that's handy, like a napkin or a paper towel, any scrap of paper. What's important about ideas is that you write them down so you don't forget. It's very easy to forget a good idea. Well, once I have the idea in hand, I sometimes just let it simmer in my brain until I start to feel like I have a beginning, a middle, and an ending. And then I get my pen out and I start writing again. And I try to work out the plot. I don't always get it right the first time. I have to struggle with things all the time. I have to redo things a lot. Once I have a plot worked out, the next step is to do a sketch dummy. That sounds funny. It's not a dummy. That's what we call it in the business, but it's a fake book where you fold pieces of paper together and you make all the pages. And I draw on every single page the picture and the words that belong on that page. That way I can then read through it and see if it works like a book should. My sketch dummy for the first Fly Guy book is in here, so you can see that I've drawn each page in the book. It's sideways in here because that's the way the pages fit. Work in the words, even cut out pieces and move things around. I didn't always want to be an author, but I did always want to draw. Ever since I can remember, I've been drawing pictures. My mother encouraged it. I was not always good at drawing. It took a lot of practice. I drew the same scene over and over again, drew the same face over and over again. I've practiced all my life. I have done a lot of Fly Guy books by now. I started by illustrating with watercolor and colored pencils, and here is the actual painting for this scene of Buzz. And you can see I used to work larger, and then the printer would shrink it down to fit it into the book. Nowadays, I illustrate entirely on the computer, and I even do a series of nonfiction books, also illustrated entirely on the computer.
Ted has two cats, Do and Lou.
I've had cats all my life, and this one is a little old lady named Do, and that's not her whole name. Her part name is Do-Wah, and that's short for Do-a kitty kitty dum diddy do. That's an old song. Do likes to sit on my lap while I'm working, but often will surprise me by deciding to step up on my keyboard and onto my table, which of course scrambles whatever I'm doing on the computer screen.
Look, there's Lou. He's a little shy. What's the hardest part of writing a book?
The hardest part about writing a book is coming up with a good idea. Then the even harder part, after the hardest part, is to get the words written that tell the story that first popped into your imagination. And then there's another hard part after that, and that is to draw the pictures that visualize the story the way your idea first came to you.
Sometimes Ted needs to take a break.
I've always noticed that I'm more creative when I'm outside, especially taking walks or doing things where you're very consciously not thinking about something else. often get the best ideas. They seem to come out of nowhere, but it isn't exactly that. It's your way your mind works. So going out and doing physical things is a great complement to all of the time I have to spend indoors at the drawing board.
Ted's hard work pays off when he finally finishes his book.
When I finish a book, it's like a celebration time. I've been known to do a little dance. Nobody's ever witnessed that dance, and nobody wants to see that dance. But it's always a celebration. I've done close to 100 books now, and I still feel the same. It's the kid in me saying, "Look at what I just made."
Ted, do you have any advice for kids?
Some advice I'd like to give everybody, and I used to give this advice all the time to kids when I was visiting schools. If you like to draw, keep drawing. You'll get better at it. Keep writing. You'll get better at it. Keep reading. You'll get better at everything.
Thanks, Ted.
Funzy.